Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Welcome to Thursday, the 15th of March. Beware the Ides of March. I'm just saying. Those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Glad you're able to make it in. Please subscribe to the channel to get all of our updates as they come out. And also a much appreciated like would be amazing. For those of you new to the channel, we look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets every day, identifying potential turning points and breakout trades from an educational standpoint. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Not a whole lot to report on today. On the S&P, yesterday we had a little bounce out of the area that we've identified. We talked about that bounce. We weren't sure how much longer it was going to last, and we were correct, as that thing just was unable to really hold up and really to get anywhere. I think today there could be a potential for a short breakdown. I think that we could get a breakdown. You know, I'm gonna put it below this area here. If we do break down below there could be room to move. Although I will tell you, I wouldn't be object to if somebody said, you know, I'm going to do it right below here, because I think that there's a chance for a good move. And really, what I look at there is I'm not really looking at the S&P. I'm looking at the Nasdaq. And the reason that I'm looking at that level in the Nasdaq is because we have this picture of lowering highs. And that picture of lowering highs is a picture of weakening momentum. However, I'm just not willing to short the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is our strongest of all the indexes, so I don't really want to go against the strength of that particular index. That index just has, in my mind, too much going for it as far as being too close to the top for me to be willing to short it. We're down 0.12% in overnight trading. The ES is basically flat in overnight trading, so not a whole lot happening right now. So we're going to want to just sit back, hold tight. There's not a whole lot really to look at here. You know, we could potentially look at this area here for a possible short. This was created on the prior evening around the European market open. I'm not so sure I'm in love with it, simply because this is a reaction to a lot of basing that occurred right through here. So, you know, that being said, I'm going to let this thing go. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. I say it a lot, and the reason I say that is because it's important not to overtrade. Crude oil, our levels still remain intact. We really did, yesterday was one of those days where it was a whole lot of nothing going on, and so I'm not going to really touch much on crude oil. Same thing in gold, a whole lot of nothing going on. Not going to touch much in the gold arena as well. So, you know, and my four, and these are really, I consider these the big four, right? These are the four that I'm most often looking at, spend the most time on. None of them are really giving me anything to do today as far as a change of the plan that I already have in place. Bonds rallied yesterday. Strong rally we've seen in bonds. I'm still not comfortable taking a long in bonds. I still have the short breakdown below here. We've still got a reversal potential right up in here off of this high right there. We may get a reversal off of this gap fill area here, but I don't like the arrival into it. So I hate to be boring, but once again, in bonds, I'm just not adding to changing what I'm doing. In the Aussie, so let's look at this Aussie position. Yesterday, we had talked about a potential, it was really a breakout trade in the Aussie above this area here. That breakout worked out pretty well, and then I said, well, if you missed it, you got a chance, another bite at the apple right here. However, that bite at the apple was a very weak bite. We just didn't really go anywhere in there. And for, you know, I've said this, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. If price comes into the level and it just goes, you probably want to close that position. And that's what we had here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hours, 13 candlesticks of price going nowhere. So this is definitely one that you probably should have got yourself out of for probably a small loss or even a break even, as it just didn't go anywhere, didn't really get you anything, wasn't really worth that movement, especially when you get to those 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night on the Eastern time zone of the U.S., you're not going to see those big violent moves that you want out of those areas. So by not seeing that, it makes it a little bit of a weaker opportunity. You could get a retest, by the way, today, back up into this region here. So just keep this area, this region in mind today. You may get a retest back into this region. This could be a good chance to get right back in for the Aussie. Looking at the euro, we almost got filled yesterday. I mean, you want to talk about just missing it? We just missed it. So I'm going to leave this area in play. I still think it's pretty valid. You could also, I wouldn't hate you. I'm not going to hate you anyway. I wouldn't be opposed, let's put it that way, I wouldn't be opposed to you shorting below here. This was resistance, 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 support. We're getting lower highs right through here, right? We're definitely getting that weakening down through here. So I wouldn't be opposed to somebody shorting the euro below that area right there on a potential breakout. Our Canadian short is also still in play. So both of these still very much in play. Nat gas, Great British Pound, and Japanese yen. Japanese yen, still nothing to add. Copper, we just missed entry yesterday on this one. So, I mean, this is another one of those, but we'll still leave it in play. Still a very strong possibility. The Great British Pound, we'd said, well, we may break out one way or the other, and guess what? We didn't do either. And so I'm going to still leave this breakout in place. So if you look at it, we've got a Canadian short, a British Pound short, and a Euro short all lining up. Does that tell you something? Just keep in mind, just keep an eye on it. So not a whole lot to report today. If you guys have any questions, please do me a favor. Feel free to reach out. My email address is chuck@iiefinancial.com. Until tomorrow, I will see you soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.